Hi, I'm Paula Bryan, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Carers for Carers. My fellow co-founder is Bobby, who's over on reception at the moment. And we set up a social enterprise to support unpaid carers. And we specialise in well-being. And this year we've supported over 400 people in the community. And we run this along with Shaka and our wider team. When I talk about carers, people come from kind of different backgrounds and they're not quite sure what a carer is. So I'm talking about anybody, and that could be a child or an adult, that supports a family member, a friend, a partner, a neighbour that's got a long-term illness or addiction or a mental health condition or frailty due to old age, or even like a disability. And it could be in so many different ways. And we all come to caring in different ways. So like, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I got here today and why I set up Carers for Carers. So, without even realising it, I was supporting my mum and dad as a child. My mum was diagnosed with schizophrenia and my dad was an alcoholic. And I grew up in a household that was sometimes chaotic and sometimes violent. I'm Jamaican, and we're told we don't check your business. And so basically, I never spoke about what was going on in my household. So I had one life at home, another at school, and maybe someone I got out to play. But nobody knew what was going on for me. So I grew up quite lonely, quite isolated. There was fun as well and laughter, but some of it was traumatic. You know, one of kind of my memories as well it's literally just come to me in the last year or so, was being 16, and it's summertime, going to carnival, having just feeling really free. I've just started my Saturday job, and with my friends, I'm dancing in the underpass, there's Chaka Khan, you know, and I'm really feeling good. You know, feeling like I own the world, you know, because I'm a young woman coming out. And then literally, a week later, I just remember being there and witnessing my mum being sectioned. And I have this memory of her being pinned down to the floor by two white men, and she's screaming and crying, and I'm standing over her, screaming and crying, but unable to move, literally transfixed to the spot. And I've blocked this out. Literally, this memory has only come back to me in the past 2 years. And there's other things that have kind of happened along the way. And for me, as a carer, I've kind of experienced a lot in the sense of, like, I grew up with this care identity that I didn't even know about, that was impacting so many different areas of my life. I was a working carer, so I was juggling a full-time career with my caring responsibilities. And then when my mum became, her health deteriorated, and she started to lose her sight, she was losing her mobility, and she developed dementia, I took redundancy just to care for her full time. And again, my life changed, because I went from this thing of like having some freedom, being able to travel and have a life of my own, to suddenly being a 24/7 carer on call and living on benefits. I think the point when I set up Carers for Carers, and this is when I met Bobby and other carers, because that's when I started to actually recognise myself as a carer, was I realised there just wasn't much going on for carers. A lot of it was like coffee mornings. I'm not interested in coffee mornings. I'm quite an active person, I like to socialise and I like real things. Also, they didn't recognise black carers. You know, there was no acknowledgement of racism and how some of our journeys are different. There was no real services for the fact that we were suffering in the sense of like, it was impacting our mental health, it was impacting our physical health, it was impacting our social health, our financial health. So we wanted to set up something that would look at people holistically and take their real journey into account. And now, as I said before, this year we've worked with hundreds of people. We've helped other organisations to set up as well. Most of our team, we have like a core team of about 8 of us, plus we have a wider team of about 30 people that are specialists in various aspects of well-being, and we offer a range of kind of fitness classes, workshops, health checks, activities out for the whole family, you name it, we're kind of doing it. If it comes in well-being, we're running it. And that's sort of where we're at today. So some of you, I had a couple of conversations with people today and they didn't actually realise they were a carer, and I've spoken to them. So if you think that could be you, because there's 1 in 10 of us in the UK are currently caring, please come have a conversation with me. Okay? So I'm going to hand over to
Yusuf, because Yusuf is a male carer, and we don't often hear about male carers. We always assume that carer is a female role, but it's also male carers. So,
how much time I've got? How much time have I got? 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
No. Let's keep this 2.
Bring it down. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm a male carer. And with that comes a lot of stigma, a lot of embarrassment, shame, guilt, and you know, I grew up in a West Indian home where it's simple. What you see here, what you hear here, stays here. You know, and that's how we grow up. And as a man, you're taught it's your duty to look after your family. It's your duty, and if you don't look after your family, you're not a man. And you don't show your vulnerable side. You don't ask for help. And at times, you know what, you get mental breakdown, you take it out on other people, and what I learned is by asking for help and just being vulnerable, it allows you to strengthen yourself. And I remember for years I was looking on shame and embarrassed because my wife's in a wheelchair. I have to go home and look after my wife. I cannot hang out with the guys afterwards. I can't spend as much time in the gym. I can't go to, to certain parties. Why is the wife not here? Yeah, she's busy. No, she's ill in bed. Yeah, my wife suffers from chronic fatigue syndrome. And it's just one time I was walking in the gym, trying to release that stress in the gym. I saw carers, free. I'm like, that doesn't suit me. That's not for me. That's for females. But something in the back of my head said, you know what? You need help. Be a man. Go and ask for help. And I did, and I would it helped me grow, it helped me become a better person, it helped me stronger in helping my own family. And I'll leave it here, but I will say this. I know in Lambeth, I think there's over 10,000 male carers, just over in Lambeth. Where are they? Why are they shouldn't come forward? So if you know anyone who's a male carer, especially from the African Caribbean community, Indian, whatever, let them know that it's okay to step forward. We've got this service here, it's free of charge. Show up, be yourself, let us help you. And that's it for me.
First of all, I'd like to say it's actually free of charge. The funders are the one who pay for this service. Out of that came out the Men's Walk and Talk. The Men's Walk and Talk started in 2021, and it was a discussion based around, I was asked a question, why don't men talk? Was a big time because I kept on hearing, why don't men talk? Why are we not vulnerable? Why are we not able to express ourselves? And I thought, okay, let's have a group of men. And first of all, it was a pilot. And I thought, let's just try, let's see what it goes, and let's just walk and talk and see what happens. But I guarantee you, ladies, that men, once they start talking, they can't shut up. I'll be real. So, Men's Walk and Talk really started on that basis of how can we communicate better? And there's a sense that once you can communicate, it's easier to communicate with strangers than often to communicate with your partners. And so, we kind of grew from there. So for the first year, it was kind of like we only had about 5 or 6 men coming. Now we have about sometimes 20 men coming on the walks. And we've got kind of a WhatsApp group of about 110 men, all conversing all the time. And we don't just do walks, we go to theatre places, they're theatres as well. It could be classical, it could be modern theatre. It's just about socialising and coming out of isolation. And we've gone to museums, we've been to several museums. It's about broadening our minds, because sometimes, and this is only my opinion, we can be kind of narrowed in our way of thinking. And so Men's Walk and Talk is about expanding our way of thinking. It's not just about, and I tend to stay away from this whole concept of black men's walk and talk. It's actually a men's walk and talk. So we embrace all men. We just happen to be predominantly black Afro-Caribbean men. And we've actually had that discussion within the walk itself. Why is that the case? I'm not going to go into details about that either. But we had a retreat. We went to the Isle of Wight. We now renamed it the Isle of Black. So, it's about, for me, this project, it's been a fantastic experience. We've had carers, and also we've had a mixture of straight men and queer men joining together, which is something actually unheard in the Afro-Caribbean community, which I'm very proud of, because that means we can have that dialogue beyond ourselves. So that's what Men's Walk and Talk. And so what we're going to do now, Keith, this after said big thank you for this short man behind the team. Keith, can you come out here a second, please? Believe it or not, this guy used to be a Michael Jackson lookalike.
Used to be the Michael Jackson.
And a friend of Michael Jackson.
And a friend too.
So, please don't do any of the moves, because we haven't got 999. Keith has been phenomenal in terms of he's been videoed in every single walk we've been on, and then coming back and giving the edited version and putting it on the Instagram. He's been amazing. Literally, we have the walk done on a Sunday. By Sunday night, sometimes Monday, 1 o'clock, I'm getting this text from this is Kobe, and he's been a fantastic. I just want to give him a big round of applause.
Yeah.
Projects like this does not work unless you show up. Otherwise, there's no point. It only becomes successful because you all are taking part in it, and I appreciate that. So that's my love giving out to you guys. I appreciate you guys coming in the walk and talk and doing all the stuff that you guys are doing. And also with the walk and talk, we're trying to do is like what we discuss, it goes out into the wider community. What a discussion we go into, we bring it out into the wider community. It's a small movement. And so Keith, I'm going to give you an opportunity to say just 1 minute, a few words. This guy can talk. This guy can talk, so I have to be ready to stop him when he's going overboard. Ready? Go.
The man of few words.
Basically, yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it. Prior to the walk and talk, I have said before, I'm a person that rides a motorbike, I ride a cycle, and I drive a car. One thing I never used to do was walk. Not predominantly because I'm lazy, it's just because of my work and everything else, it was not that luxury to walk. So when Shaka said, oh, well, Sunday we're going to meet up at Brockpool Park, do you want to come for a walk? I'm like, are you crazy? Why would I want to do that? But I went along, and do you know what? It's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And I'm still there nearly 4 years later. It's not just walking and talking, it's about meeting people, it's engaging, it's physical exercise which you don't even realise that you're doing. And I've learned so much from the walk and talk. It's like trying to multitask between church and walk and talk. The Lord knows that basically He's allowed me to go to walk and talk on a Sunday because I can't get to church on a Sunday. But prior to walk and talk, that was what I did on a Sunday. But just like I said, it is so beneficial for so many reasons that I can't even go into today. So, again, it's not about a colour thing, it's not a religious thing. Where regardless of your background, your culture, your ethnicity, it's a really great place to be. It's a safe and vulnerable space. And again, September, we went off on our first retreat to the Isle of Wight, #Black, and thoroughly enjoyed it, and everybody there thoroughly enjoyed it. You've got 24 males that have never shared 48 hours together. No arguments, no issues. It was amazing, and hopefully we'll get the actual chance to do that again next year, 2024. So on that note, I was 1 minute up. On that note,
Stop.
And by the way, right, you mentioned Michael, I'm still alive.
Come on.
Me too.
And the youngest member. At the front.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is our youngest member.
Regular.
You're gonna kick everyone's butt. Language. Today we have a great lineup. We're going to show a video of the men's walk and talk. We're going to have our friend Michael going to do a song. One of our members passed away this year, so it's a reflection on him. And then we're going to have, he's gone now. We're going to have poetry reading as well. Then we have Danny doing a little, we've got a lot in store for you guys today. We're going to just crack on and get it going. So the first one is basically, it's about 20 minutes long, is that right, Keith?
23 and a half.
23 and a half minutes, right? Just highlights of what we've been up to in the last year, this year. Some of you remember, we recognize some of these parts, especially Marcia.
I don't have a longer size.
And also when it do hit.
Today's talk has been great because it's just so good to talk and to listen and to share and realise stuff about yourself and the people around you. I mean, it's people are really generous with the information they choose to give to each other. It's really good.
Today we had a really good talk and walk, and we chatted with each other about some of the buildings in Brixton Hill that I was familiar with, and gave a potted history of people who lived in the neighborhood, like Alex Awolade, Muji.
Okay, and today's men's walk and talk, we started in Brockwell Park, and ironically, of May 2021, our first men walk and talk was in Brockwell Park, and that's when Hendy was there, that first walk. So today was about Hendy.
We're here in the park. So this has been my second time on a men's walk and talk, and it's a really beautiful experience. It's like meeting different people from different age groups, and there's like no pressure.
My name's Kiani. It's my first walk and talk. Obviously Shaka's my dad, and yeah, I think it's great, really enjoyable. Chance to open up, talk about, feelings, what's going on. And yeah, I'll definitely come again.
One of the things that we're asked about basically, what advice would you give to somebody both your age, someone younger than you, and more importantly, one of the other questions that they asked was in the country, if you were living the last days of your life, who would you rather spend it with?
I had therapy last week and it came up about vulnerability. And funny enough, it came up again today about just being vulnerable doesn't mean weakness, it means strength. It means taking that mask off. It means learning more about yourself, learning who you really are.
Greetings, I'm Danny. I'm here with Men's Walk and Talk, and just want to share a bit of my story. Last year I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I was blessed because I was diagnosed, I caught it early before it had a chance to spread and do some damage. I was actually advised to do a checkup through brothers at the Walk and Talk, who made me realize that even though I used to check up regularly, I hadn't checked up for a couple of years. So on their advice, I went and I did it. I had surgery beginning of January, and I'm all clear. Still in a state of recovery, which is why today I'm doing a short walk, but still in a state of recovery. And I just want to say about it's a testing. Let me start that bit again. Having prostate surgery and the whole recovery process, it tests your body, it tests your mind. And I've been able to come through it with the support of the brothers in this group. I can't tell you the value of that support. Help me manage it in my own mind, help me manage it emotionally. So I'm just trying to send a message out there. Brothers, first of all, get yourself checked. Life is not to be played with. Get yourself checked, and also talk it out, share it. You'll be amazed at the support that you get back and how valuable that support is in helping you find your inner power to go through and live your life. Bless. Oh, that was a lot.
The facilitator is late. The facilitator is late. Yeah, you keep running.
Power and knowledge is limited.
Today's walk and talk is kind of like a mini guided tour around Brixton. Somebody had told me there's a windmill in South London, i.e. Brixton. I would have told them, you are cooking. But here I am, just down the road from the Brixton Library on Brixton Hill, Blenheim Gardens, above me, a windmill.
First time I've actually been totally blown away by a inspirational black man, Troy, who is building a museum, and he's got historic information about culture, about the City of London, how it was built, and Francis Drake, and just the gangster way that England was built.
My name is Troy Richards. I'm originally born in Jamaica, but now living between the UK and the US. I'm an accountant by profession, but I studied quite a bit on 16th century history. So I've just done a tour around Queen Elizabeth I, Sir Francis Drake, the first Englishman to circumnavigate the world, and sort of intertwine that with our current society that we live in. So a little bit about London, maritime England, and how England came about having its wealth.
So today was quite initiative really. We opened it up for women and children to come. We walked around Regis Park briefly, we came back. There was a lot of questions posed about communication, vulnerability, and how do we as men, listen to our partners. One of the child talked about fathers spending time with their children, which is something quite important. I spent a lot of time with my children growing up.
Parents for Carers is a social enterprise specialising in the well-being of unpaid carers, and we do anything at all around well-being. So that could be health checks, personal development, fitness, complementary therapies, talking therapies, retreats, and it's all about enabling carers to thrive. Funny enough, like Men's Walk and Talk came out of Carers for Carers in the sense, because we used to do like lots of walks for the carers, and it was very predominantly female, and the men said that they wanted their own space. So Chuck has taken that and he's just kind of really developed the idea and run with it. So to see it like a year on, and it's just so thriving, it's fantastic.
It's good to walk back and walk and talk. This is my first time.
Okay, right.
and I'm having a good time.
Can I put your hand on your shoulder? Brother, can I request a hug?
So much love. Overdose. Overdose.
Raf, can I put my hand on your shoulder?
Never be afraid to ask your GP for a full MOT test.
You have to look after yourself, and everything you have to do the right thing.
Cut out the sugar. Plain and simple. I understand that sugar causes or can cause inflammation. It's really bad if you've got any serious health issues, particularly if you're facing cancer or something like that. And of course, there's the risk of diabetes.
Watch what you eat, especially in terms of losing weight. I was just speaking to one of the guys there, and he was asking me what I do in regards to health or losing weight or whatever. And I would say that more than exercise, I would say you should put more emphasis on what you eat.
Exercise. I'm not telling like me, run if you will for your mental health. There you are. Men's Walk and Talk.
Be aware, take care of yourself, and I know it's 3, and go to the doctor and ask. So whether that's for your PSA, people in the group know about me in PSA, or as Chuck was saying, go get your bloods done and get the readout, because that might flag up something that you might need to consider or address. But yeah, I think the one bit of advice I give you is be aware of your health.
Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today.
Today was very insightful conversations we had. We spoke about suffering, we spoke about death, we spoke about spirit and its energy. It was very cathartic, today's conversations, and it was such a pleasure to be surrounded by the energy of men and be so vulnerable in this space. Also, we talk about, getting the MOT, and I have my MOT, which tells me my cholesterol level, the function of my liver, my bones, whether I'm pre-diabetes or not, sugar level, kidney. It's so important to get this MOT check, ladies and gentlemen, especially gentlemen. It's only a blood test. Go to your GP, and then you get the results, and then you choose to do what you want with that result. And hopefully you're going to do something positive about the results, whatever it may be. So go and get your MOT. It also has your prostates as well, your PSA in there as well. And I'm lucky to say my MOT this time around has been fantastic, and I'm hoping to keep it going that way. So please get your MOT.
The turtles would be imported live from the Caribbean or the Mediterranean. And then they have the head chopped off and the limbs. We have to cover this up because it distresses the little boys. Little girls have no problem with it, but boys
Tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna chat, right?
corner is a museum called Queer Britain, and it has historic aspects of lesbian and gay life in that museum in the far corner.
Today at Men's Walk and Talk, we started Brockwell Park, did a warm up, we did a check-in. Today's conversation was about active listening, how best we can serve our communities. And then we took the walk to the Dulwich Festival, where we visited 5 houses where we saw eclectic bunch of paintings, which again ignited the creativity in our minds and our conversations as well.
I think that's something for the outtakes. I cannot.
We've got 30 acres, 30,000 acres of land.
Why are you doing that to me? That will be in some video, I'm sure.
And my man Youssef decides to photobomb the video.
I thought it was just on him alone.
One of the conversations we talked about was the black boys with a darker shade of hue and the emerging themes that came out of the play. So I identified the one about fatherhood and the sexual abuse for young men and boys by females, and that was a really good discussion.
Hi, my name's Ian. I'm at Battersea Park Station, Power Station, and we've had a lovely walk today. We've come to the shopping centre and to the Battersea Power Station. It looks okay. Looking forward to the rest of the stuff that's I'm going to discovering now. But yeah, and I'm happy to be at Men's Walk and Talk, always.
Today we've been talking about the difference between killing and murder, or whether there is one, off the back of the incident that happened recently in Croydon, which brought up a lot of different ideas, challenges. We also talked about the concept of forgiveness and guilt and how those two things sit, whether we can truly forgive anybody or whether these are just things that we say.
For the gift of this day, for the gift of this life, for the gift of this love, for the gift of each other, I give thanks and praise for transformation from the dark to the light, from the wrong to the right, from the lost to the found.
He said it.
From the lonely to love surrounds. We give thanks and praise to all creation.
Shamana.
For the gift of this day. And for the gift of each other, as I sing my praise for transformation from the dark to the light, from the wrong.
Whatever it is, you could be describing your work, but just tell them who you are, what's important to you.
Lost to the found, and from the lonely to love surround. From the lonely to love surround. Every day is a gift, a blessing.
Okay, men on the right, start to bring your sharing to a close, to a stop. Okay, so that eye contact. And it's very rare to stare into another man's eyes. It's a powerful thing.
Of confusion, of delusion.
To take 2 steps.
So I pray, so I again and again and again. You see, love
Henderson Williams for the one time after 3. 1, 2, 3, and
Henderson Williams. Oh, well, indeed. Let the light shine on you. Oh, well, indeed. Let the light shine on you. Oh, well, indeed. Let the light shine on you. Oh, well, indeed. Let the light shine on you.
As we leave the Isle of Wight, I'd like to say special thanks to all the people who made this happen, which are Paul O'Brien from Carers to Carers, Mrs. Shombe for ordering the food, Keith for his amazing documentary, Danny from a historical point of view, Drew from his musical talent, Guillaume from telling us about the scenery around this area, and of course Ian and Dirk with amazing creation out of food. So it's been an awesome weekend, but obviously we're saddened by the loss of our great friend and brother, Henderson Williams, who we'll miss dearly. So this weekend was all about him, to be honest with you. So take care and see you all soon. Bye for now.
How can black men apply those lessons today?
Tambo.
Tambo.
Chimney bahe bahe ho.
Chimney bahe bahe ho.
Ho away.
Ho away.
Chimney bahe away.
Chimney bahe.
Good afternoon, everybody. That was emotional watching my friend on the video. So I'm going to do my best.
You got it. Where would you know?
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on smiling. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
Thank you for coming up and doing that performance. I know it's quite difficult for you because Michael and Henderson were like brothers, real time brothers. So thank you very much for doing that for us.
Went into misrepresenting him. That was like part of the project of trying to show us, even ourselves, that we're worth it. And I think that's the biggest part for me. That we can look at ourselves and remember we're worth it, whether we don't have to be, this, I don't know, award winning or always over like grandiose whoever person that society can picture us in a way like that. But we're all good enough. I think, I'm not prepared, but I think that's the best I can do for right now to explain. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm an author, I'm a writer, I'm also a PhD student along with Danny. Where's Danny? Yeah, so we have the same professor, well, we have the same. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to read you a part of my story, The Tale of Rasta Claus and Santa Claus, which I wrote around 5 years ago. So it's about two brothers, Rasta Claus and Santa Claus, and it's back in time, it's fantasy, and it's when we had continental drift, when the continents broke up, when the landmass broke up and started to drift. So, right, let's see. As the brothers raced for the coast, a colossal rumbling began beneath their feet. Actually, before I start that, I'm going to say ruppa-pum-pum, and I want you to say wagwan, wagwan.
Wagwan, wagwan.
Ruppa-pum-pum!
Wagwan, wagwan.
Ruppa-pum-pum!
Wagwan, wagwan.
Okay, good. Right, so a colossal rumbling began beneath their feet. This time, however, the rumbling was the most frightening and malevolent that the earth had experienced. In a flash, a monstrous-sized crack began splitting the earth that stood between the two brothers. They reached out for each other, but they were violently thrown back by a further explosive shake, as a further explosive shake splintered the earth's surface in two, which was then pushed apart by a massive wave of water that surged with such force it separated the splintered land. The brothers cried out to each other, but their voices were drowned out by the wild maelstrom that was occurring all around them. When Rasta awoke, he realized that his body had been wrapped around a large tree root, and this had saved him. He looked about him, and all he could see in the horizon was water. For days he cried out to Santa, but the only response he received was the gentle lapping of waves. The Earth's landmass had now irrevocably shifted. Instead of being in one enormous uniform piece, it had begun splintering into separate large chunks, into what is now known as continents. Following the titanic upheaval, Santa too called for his brother, Rasta, Rasta, Rasta. But day after day, month after month, he cried out for him to no avail. He was left alone, isolated in the cold which was like a bitter medicine, slowly poisoning his soul. Sad, desperate, and exhausted, Santa fell into a long and deep sleep. Icy winds blew soft sways of snow across the northern landscape, covering Santa's sleepy body like a blanket. How long Santa lay dormant, nobody knows, but eventually he awoke. Emerging from his ice cocoon, it was evident that a metamorphosis of sorts had taken place in Santa's body. His once generous lips had condensed to a cruel, thin line across his face. His rounded button nose had been replaced by a pointed aquiline orifice. His skin, which had once glowed like amber, had now taken on pale, bleached harshness of the cruel and fierce environment that surrounded him. Most dramatic still was the transmutation that had occurred within his heart. For rather than beating with the warmth and hope of human flesh, it had morphed into a brittle and bitter icicle, pulsating with anger, hatred, and revenge. Santa swore that he would have vengeance on his brother Rasta, who had abandoned him to this ice and barren wilderness. In time, Santa adapted to his environment where it would perpetually winter, but led by bitterness and anger, he sought to find his brother Rasta and destroy him. By and by, Santa traversed treacherous seas and craggy landscapes until he found his brother Rasta, to whom, it had appeared, nature had blessed with bounty. The environment in which Rasta dwelled was lush and fertile, a land brimming with gold, precious stones and minerals, a land teeming with exotic fruits and amazing animals, a land alive with rhythm and song, science, knowledge and learning. The geographical shift had also left its mark upon Rasta physically. His skin now took on hues of ebony and burnished bronze. His nose had broadened, enabling him to freely inhale the benevolence of nature, and his lips had expanded, causing him to give thanks for the magnanimity that surrounded him. It contrasted starkly with all that had become familiar to Sansa in his sterile North Pole home. Sansa, however, was cunning. He devised a plan whereby he would steal, kill, and destroy all that was pleasant to Ruster. But first, he would present himself as the long-lost brother. As it was, the two brothers at last met. And I'll end that there. So my still there.
Message is loud.
Family is more than blood. Friendship is more than years. Actions are key to my heart. From this I'll never depart. These here are my beloved, closer than all my peers. Old friends we can't restart, frenemies you are by. Oh, so come and see the circle cover me. The Lord is truly in my house. From beginning they have let me be free. They accept me, I forever hold them as my day one. Day one, you're mine. You're my day one. You're my day one, yeah. Day one, yeah. Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you about the people. All the men's walk and talk, please stand up. Can't forget carers for carers. They always make it happen. They have a vibe money can't buy. Frenemies you can't buy. So come and see the circle cover me. The Lord is truly in my house. From beginning they have let me be free. They accept me, I forever hold them as my day one. They are my day one. You're my day one. You're my day one. Look how you cover me. Oh, you're my day one. Day one, yeah. Look how you care. Look how you care for me. You're my day one, yes. With you by my side, we can take on the world. With you by my side, we can take on the world. With you by my side, we can take on the world. With you by my side, we can take on the world. Yes. Oh, we can take on the world. With you by my side, why go from pillar to post when you're always there? As my day one. Day one, you're mine. You're my day one. You're my day one. Look how you cover me. Look how you care. You're mine. Oh, we can take on the world. With you by my side. With you by my side, we can take on the world. With you by my side, we can take on the world. Yeah. Oh, we can take on the world. With you by my side, why go from pillar to post when you're always there? As my day one. Thank you.
George. I'm originally a commercial artist. And what this is about, I was asked to contribute here. I've known Shaka and Danny and Paula for quite a while. I've been involved as much as I can with Men's Walk and Talk. It all started off with Care for Carers. I was invited there, had a wonderful time, and then Shaka started off the Men's Walk and Talk, and we're actually part of another group. And Shaka told me, you know, oh, you're coming. So I said, oh, okay. The rest is history. The rest is history. You know? And I'm very glad that I took his command, and we're here. He's a very forceful brother. But yes, I was asked to contribute to this sort of final end of year sort of like event here, and to add a little bit to the wonderful portraits which you can see all around you. And what I wanted to do was just share very briefly the idea of trusting in the journey, because I started off as a commercial illustrator, but my passions are history, writing, music, and that's what I do, you know, as a love and as kind of like a side hustle and interest as well. Creating portraits of like famous writers, like over there, that's Chinua Achebe, who's like the legendary Nigerian author. You've got Run DMC over there. And so these pieces of work, they're like, that one's probably about 15 years old, that one's around, did that in 2000. And just by going down certain avenues, studying history, which I'm very much interested in, going down into learning about Black history, studying with Robin Walker, that has led me to actually becoming partners with historians, working with Danny, for example. So I'm now a director of The Black Secret, and I've helped put that together. And that all came out of my pursuit of history, doing illustrations, which was a love that I have, and then studying the history of it, going into that. Also as well, I'm very much into spirituality. So if you can see these images here, they're very different, but it's my personal connection with the spiritual. And out of that actually came the opportunity to, it deepened to the things which are at the back there, which are actually photographs. So I actually went from sort of like illustrating what I was feeling and connecting with to being able to literally go out into nature and ask things to manifest, and things would appear which aren't actually there to the naked sight. So I've actually become a lecturer, and I've done workshops on helping people to connect with their intuition. And it's all about, we all get these impulses, these ideas which flash into our minds, and very often they can guide you to interesting places, but you have to take action. You know, if you don't take action, then it's just an interesting dream or concept, and it doesn't lead anywhere. But if you follow your own inner voice, it can lead you to really interesting places. Like, you know, becoming a director of a new company which teaches Black history, becoming an author, which is something that I was interested in, lecturing, doing workshops and so forth. There isn't too much time, so I'm going to end with this. Now, when I did this illustration here, it's sort of, it's like a mer-child, you could say. And it really symbolizes the idea of birth, and it's about emotions, but it's also about coming into being as well. So this is the poem that goes with that. And it's called Pool of Deep Wisdom. Sleeping calmly stillly, sleeping soundly deeply, in mysterious waters clear, in silent of deepest blue, the merlad does rest so gracefully, his eyes that have long surrendered to slumber's loving golden charms. What sweet serenity thy countenance reveals. It seems a great light's potential thou dost bear. Hidden deep within it does begin to stare. Marvelous nixes of ocean's pool's deepest truth. Like the night sky clouds the light and the brightest fullness moon with its finery and velvet gown of deepest hues. I wonder what truths you cloak deep down within light's deepest ocean pool. What wondrous treasures might thy will bring forth? What pearl of bright opulence, spiritual light will thy bestow? Through thy frame of watery elements blue, when sleeping eyes slumber no more, and arise once more to light's bright new golden dawn. Thank you.
Men's Walk and Talk is about broadening our minds. It literally is about breaking down the boundaries that were maybe holding us back. It's about learning, it's about empowering, and it's about personal development. And that's been our journey from day one to how we are now. We want to continue that journey going forward in turn. Because for me, or for most of the guys here, we believe that, as Danny said earlier on, you have to in order to teach, you have to know oneself. And so that's our journey, is to keep going forward. But also, today I want to just give a special, I stole this from the, I want to give this to Keith actually, because he's been working very hard, being a cameraman. Give it up for Keith. He has been working very hard. I mean, the guy just seemed to crawl into the chairs and come up here, there, and everywhere. But this has been a fantastic occasion, and I really thank you guys for really taking the time to come down and be part of this celebration. I hope to see more of it. I'd also like to thank the funders. They're not here today, but I think they was for giving us the finance to able to do this kind of work and continue this kind of work. One of them is right here now. Would you like to stand up? These things are not, as anything in our society, none of this is possible without finance. This is serious. And so I'm grateful for the people that financed this in the past, and hopefully they finance it in the future. And that's it from us, and I hope you have a... Go
on. No, we really do need to thank you. I do.
This is one of the songs we sung at the, to finish the day off, this is one of the songs we sung at, what's it,
the men's retreat.
Yeah,
the Isle of Black Men's Retreat.
Yeah, the Isle of Black Men's Retreat.
Men's Retreat.
Oh, guys, you guys, you know it, so join in.
Yeah, and I can't remember the original language.
Don't worry about it.
It's
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, yeah. So we do it in its original language, and then we do it in English.
Yeah.
And the English is
go well
in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You just think you got a little search.
Okay. Famba naye baba, famba naye baba, famba naye baba, famba naye baba. Go well in peace, let the light shine on you. Go well in peace, let the light shine on you. One more time. Go well in peace, let the light shine on you. Go well in peace, let the light shine on you.
cool.